You're listening to the Warrior Rulebook Podcast, Episode 3, The Itch I Can't Get Rid of. Today we're going to be talking about what continues to keep me and my drive going. When I was in school, I just felt like my day, I was constantly having a trade-off. Like I would work on one thing and then the next thing wouldn't get done. Or like I would have to commit myself to one thing and then I was losing time on something else. So that was really frustrating. And even after college, I'm still experiencing this. So I'm just trying to find the balance in that. I have so many ideas of how I want to serve people and how I want to help people out, and just by giving them tips and advice and things of that nature. And so that's definitely why I started my podcast. But today I want to get more into, will that itch ever be satisfied? You're listening to the Warrior Rulebook Podcast with me, Monique Harmon. I'm a God-fearing, bright fashion blogger, also known as Pretty Nikki, where I share tips on how to activate that part of you that sets your soul on fire to fight whatever life throws at you. Come on, share your story with me. This episode is brought to you by Anchor. It's the easiest way to make a podcast. It gives you everything you need in one place, all for free. You can use their creation tools to allow yourself to record and edit your podcast so they will sound amazing. They'll distribute your podcast for you as well, so it can be heard everywhere on different platforms such as Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and Google Podcasts. You can make money from your podcast with no minimum listenership. Download the Anchor app or go to anchor.fm today to get started. So for a few days, I've been feeling disappointed. I've been going to bed a little disappointed. Let me tell you why. So I feel as though I can be doing more with my day. And so what I'm kind of battling is not having enough time in the day. Some things that I'm involved in is I have a blog, I have a YouTube channel. I'm working out of 2 news stations right now, and now I have this podcast and I want to start a business. And so as you can see, I have a lot of things that I want to try out and a lot of things that I'm already doing. And I also do a lot of things for my church as well. And so it's my day is pretty much going really quickly because I just have so many things that I need to do and need to get done, and so many things that I want to learn. And so it's that's the price you pay when you want to do better and you want to make more progress. You still have to keep starting from zero in some areas in order to keep growing. And so that is why I am very busy at the moment. I wish there was more than 24 hours in a day, because it's just so much that I want to accomplish. And I've been thinking bigger than what I'm doing now. So it's every time you think you get to a certain point, you find out that you want to do something else. And that's actually how this podcast was born, because I knew that I wanted to have an impact on people's lives. I wanted to support people. You can ask some of my friends, they would probably say that I'm the campaigner or the motivator of the group. So I even took a personality test and it told me that I was the campaigner of the group. And I was like, wow, this is so true. So I always just want to encourage people to do their best and, go further. And so I never really saw myself as a person that would make a podcast. I was I didn't even used to listen to podcasts, but once I started listening to podcasts and I found some really, really good ones, I was like, wow, these are so helpful. And they're just in your ear and you can just listen to them on the go. And that's the thing that I love about podcasts, because they're not only informational, but they draw you in. And so I really love that aspect of it. I guess it's a new experience for me, definitely, because I just see so much potential for more growth. And it's I just know that I have to keep going, but I want to have this itemized plan of how I want to serve people and help people. And so that's what kind of makes it rewarding, because I'm still staying busy and I'm still having so much fun while being on this ride. So I'm going to go into more about how you can help somebody else that's going through this, because they kind of don't feel like they're being satisfied with where they're at. Like, it's really important not to be content at where you're at. And let me tell you why. Because you could be doing so much more good for the world when you just expand upon your horizons and you just kind of explore areas that you normally wouldn't go in, because you have so much potential to do good for people, especially with your talent. And so one thing that I do with my friends, I'll be like, okay, so like what projects, or like what are you up to now? What do you want to do? And sometimes they'll even come to me and be like, hey Mo, like I want to start a blog, or I want to start, a TV show. And I'm like, wow, that's amazing. Like, go for it. And even it might be in an area I don't even understand, but it's like, I want to listen. I want to hear what they want to discuss. And I just think, having a listening ear is very important, because you kind of need validation when you're first starting out, and you might have the idea in your head and you're like, well, how am I going to get this done? Well, that's why you need to talk to your friend or talk to somebody that you trust, and just go through ideas with them and just see how they would take it, because they can be your guinea pig for a potential lesson, or your guinea pig for like a new business or something like that. And so just being able to talk to people about it has really helped me in my endeavors. And I'll be the first to share things on Facebook and Instagram, and I'll even poll people and be like, how do you feel about this? Or what do you think about this? Would you watch this? Would you listen to this? And it's because you want to serve people. It doesn't become about you anymore. Even if it's your show, even if it's your project, your baby, it's not about you anymore, because you're trying to help people achieve their goals. And that's what I love. Like, I never saw myself in that position to like give people advice, or, just to be that voice in their head, like, you can do this. I think you should go after this. Because too often I see some people that are close to me that, they might be kind of afraid, or I kind of see them lagging on like getting their stuff done. And it's just like, I just want to be, helpful. And like, sometimes people do need space and they do need time to actively think it out. But then other times you can tell when they're not doing anything. So you got to be like that cheerleader, like, oh my gosh, you can do this. What are you waiting for? Can I help you? Like, those are the type of questions and things that I say just to try to get people motivated, because like, I just see a lot of people just doing amazing work. Like, and I'm talking people from like musicians to teachers to like just different things that people are doing, and like even nursing. And I'm really happy for them, because I'm like, you should definitely go after your dreams. And that kind of goes back to not being content where you are, because like, when you reach your full potential and you're just doing things that make you happy, but not only make you happy, but they're making other people happy, it's a win-win situation. And so that's why I love supporting people. So some rules to being a motivator and a supporter for your best friends. The number one, I would say, listen to them. Like I said before, like, people need to hear validation. They need to know that their opinion matters. And sometimes you may not have that around you, but if you're thinking about that, for somebody else, you can do that exact same thing for yourself and motivate yourself to keep going as well. Outline a plan, do all those type of things just to make sure that like your concept is usable and that you can actually have an impact on people. The next thing I would say is to encourage people. And that kind of goes in with motivating people. But people just want to know like that they have the love and support, because that does help people grow. Because like, there are, granted, a few times where you have to motivate yourself, but it's a different feeling when somebody else is like sharing your content and they think that you're worthy, to have your content shared and what you have to say shared. And sometimes they need a little help along the way, just boosting you and just to keep you going. So I would definitely say that. The third thing I would say is understand them. Like I said before earlier, I don't understand everything that people come to me with, but that's why you have to ask questions. And you'll be like, I don't understand this. So how are you going to use this to accomplish that? Or maybe you might have a better idea for them. You'd be like, hey, what if you just do this instead? This might actually help you go further. And so people kind of need that conversation starting so that they can come out better overall. I don't know if this itch will ever be satisfied, but it's actually a good feeling to get outside of your comfort zone, because you not only do you help other people, but you also learn while you're going every step of the way. I am still learning with this podcasting thing, but I am definitely having a lot of fun doing it. So I was like, wow, this is another way that I can actually help people and just be the voice of reason in their life if they don't have it. So that's why I wanted to start it. Definitely try new things, because you never know what impact you can make on somebody. So thank you guys for listening to the Warrior Rulebook podcast, episode 3. Please leave a comment and please share this episode if you found it beneficial, and just leave me a comment in general so we can keep the conversation going. Okay, bye. Thank you so much for tuning in to the Warrior Rulebook podcast. If you like what you heard, share it with a friend and join me over at the Warrior Rulebook Podcast Insider group on Facebook. And don't forget to follow me on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter for more tips on how to be resilient in this world.